It's 11:47 at night. You're lying in bed, phone in your hand, calculator app still open. You've been scrolling, checking your balance, maybe even redoing the same math you did last week. Income minus expenses, again. And nothing looks wrong. You're not reckless. You're not blowing money every weekend. You're trying, actually trying to be responsible. But somehow, it still feels like you're not getting anywhere. Like you've been walking for months and the scenery hasn't changed. And that's the part no one really prepares you for. Financial progress doesn't feel like progress for a long time. Here's where most people get it wrong. We grow up expecting progress to be visible, immediate, tangible. You study, you get marks. You work, you get paid. You go to the gym, you expect to see results in the mirror. So naturally, we assume money should work the same way. If I'm doing better, I should feel better. If I'm improving, I should see it clearly. But money doesn't behave like that. In fact, financial progress is one of the few areas in life where doing the right things often feels exactly the same as doing nothing at all. And that messes with your head. Because when effort doesn't feel rewarded, your brain starts questioning whether it matters in the first place. Think about what progress actually looks like in real life. You start saving a little more each month. Maybe you cut back on a few things. Maybe your salary increases slightly. But at the same time, life expands. Rent goes up. Food gets more expensive. Responsibilities quietly grow in the background. So even when you're improving, it gets absorbed, like pouring water into sand. Nothing looks different on the surface. And that creates this strange illusion that you're stuck. But you're not stuck. You're just early. There's a psychological reason for this. Your brain is wired to notice change, not stability. If something improves dramatically, you feel it. If something gets worse suddenly, you feel that too. But slow, steady progress, your brain treats it like background noise. It normalizes it. So instead of feeling proud that you're saving consistently, your brain adjusts and says, this is normal now. And suddenly, what used to feel like effort feels like nothing. That's why people who are objectively doing better financially still feel anxious, still feel behind. Because emotionally, it doesn't register as progress. It just feels like maintenance. And then there's another layer. Most financial wins are invisible by nature. Paying off a small part of your debt doesn't feel exciting. Building an emergency fund doesn't change your daily life. Investing consistently doesn't give you instant feedback. These are quiet actions. They don't give you dopamine hits. They don't give you validation. They just sit there, growing slowly, silently in the background. And because you don't feel them, you underestimate them. But here's where things start to shift. There comes a point where all those invisible actions begin to stack. Not gradually, but suddenly. The savings you barely noticed start giving you options. The investments you ignored start showing meaningful numbers. The habits that felt small start shaping your lifestyle. And it feels abrupt, like something finally clicked. But nothing actually changed overnight. You were just too close to the process to see it building. It's similar to watching a plant grow. If you check it every day, it looks the same. But if you leave it alone for a while and come back, it's different. Not because it suddenly grew in one moment, but because growth was happening the whole time without you noticing. Money works like that. And that's the part most people don't have the patience for, so they quit too early. They stop saving because it doesn't make a difference. They stop investing because returns are too small. They start spending more because what's the point anyway? Not because they're irresponsible, because the progress felt invisible for too long, and the brain hates delayed feedback. The turning point comes when you stop expecting money to feel rewarding in the short term, and instead, you start respecting what it's doing in the background. You stop asking, why don't I feel richer? And start asking, am I building something stable? Because those are two completely different games. One is emotional, the other is structural. And long-term stability doesn't always come with short-term feelings. When you shift that perspective, something changes. You become less reactive. You don't panic as easily when things look slow. You don't compare your progress as aggressively with others, because you understand
that what matters isn't what's visible today, but what's quietly compounding underneath. In real life, this doesn't mean extreme changes. It's not about cutting out everything you enjoy or chasing some perfect financial routine. It's smaller than that. It's continuing to save even when it feels pointless. It's staying consistent even when results look flat. It's making slightly better decisions repeatedly without expecting immediate proof. Because the truth is, most of your financial life is built in moments that don't feel important at all. And if you can sit through that phase, the phase where nothing seems to change, you separate yourself from most people without even realizing it. At some point, you'll look back and notice something subtle. The stress isn't as sharp. The decisions feel less heavy. You're not checking your balance with the same anxiety. Not because you became rich overnight, but because those invisible steps finally added up to something you can feel. And that's when it becomes obvious. Progress was happening the whole time. You just couldn't see it yet. So if it feels slow right now, good. That probably means you're in the part most people don't have the patience to survive. And that's exactly where the real change begins.